Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm back with a brand new video. I just got back from the Burbank Card Show and I have some market analysis that I want to share with you guys. Of course, this is based on my personal experience, what I'm seeing in the market. And I do have a few reasons why I personally believe that the sports card market is on for a big recovery season in the winter months and in the coming spring. But before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program because our membership program has been catching a lot of these picks very early on that we're going to be talking about in this video. One is being Kawhi Leonard's Prism rookie card that we recommended our members buy for under $5,000 in May and in June, and they're currently up to almost $8,000 and still climbing. His base Prism we also recommended to our regular members for between $350 and $400. That's already up to upwards of $600. Those are just a few picks that have done really well. So if you guys, believe in this video and do think that the market's going to recover and you do need some help picking and choosing cards that you believe are good investments, we do have our membership program and the link is down below if you would like to sign up. Another quick thing is we do have a giveaway. As you guys know, we're giving away a Karl-Anthony Towns Prism PSA 9. If you would like to join into the giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe, and comment the word done. But without further ado, we will hop right into this video. So there's a few segments in the market that I am seeing do really well recently, and I believe still have a big trajectory for a recovery in the coming few months. As we saw with football for the last 2 months leading up to the season, we saw prices of pretty much across the board going up roughly 20 to 30%. As I've been preaching in my membership reports and on YouTube, I definitely believe buying at the beginning of the offseason, heading up to the season, you're going to see a good 20 to 30% steady return for doing absolutely nothing. You don't have to even risk a player getting injured. You don't have to risk a player playing poorly. Pretty much just the hype and the supply and demand makes it so that more people are selling in the beginning of the offseason and more people are buying towards the end of the offseason. So that's just a supply and demand that gives you good margins. Now, I do want to talk about this for basketball because I'm starting to see right now, as we speak, basketball cards are starting to recover. They had been down in the waters for months prior to this because of the recession. Then, of course, combined with the recession, we just went into an off season. And we're starting to see some stuff climb back up across the board. We've seen LeBron's Topps Chrome Refractor edge out and back upwards of 50K. That fell below 50K at one point. We're seeing LeBron's Topps Chrome starting to hit around the 8,000 mark. And across the board, just in basketball, we're starting to see little signs of interest again. I know the season is not until nearly the end of October. Preseason does start next month, maybe this month by the time you're watching this video. So I think that the basketball, as soon as preseason starts, we're definitely going to see a lot of investors move money back into basketball. So I think the basketball market in general has a lot of room for recovery in the next month or so. So I know I make a lot of basketball card videos. There's a lot of people out there watching this who are collectors and investors in basketball cards. So if this is for you, I definitely think now is a great time to be investing. In basketball cards, we saw football cards just go up 20 to 30% in the span of 2 months. And I think the next 2 months are going to see basketball prices go up 20 to 30%. Now, for specific players that I'm personally picking and choosing, you would have to subscribe to the membership program, but I definitely will be coming out with new videos in the coming months of which cards I believe to invest in. Now, another big segment of the market that I'm seeing getting a lot of attention is vintage. Vintage baseball in particular. We saw a Mickey Mantle $12.6 million sale last weekend. So that's definitely going to have some sort of impact on overall vintage. Across the board, I think there's going to be a lot more attention coming on to the Mickey Mantle's cards, of course. We're seeing a lot of other players like Babe Ruth, even his cards have gone up roughly 30%. Some of his cards at least have gone up roughly 30%. None of them are really down. So we're seeing good growth in the vintage baseball market. I think that's kind of like during this whole recession, there's been so much risk held in not only sports cards, but all asset classes, right? And so I think a lot of investors are going towards a little bit safer investments, I would say. At least that's what I've noticed at the Burbank show. Mantles were flying, roots were flying. I saw a lot of those sell. And of course, a lot of basketball, I honestly realized. Personally, for me, I was selling quite a few cards. I had a really easy time moving basketball cards. Football cards are hot as well, but I think basketball is really where a lot of attention is heading to. And so I definitely think whether you're investing in younger rookies or even the big guys like LeBron, action is where demand can start to spike no matter what. Just seeing these players get back on the court is going to cause prices to rise naturally because of demand. Now, personally, I'm going after players who either were injured last year, have been under people's radars, really just steals in the market where I feel like when attention's back on this player's cards, we're going to see it go up. So I'm definitely really focusing on that. There are a few teams I'm also focusing on because, of course, during the basketball season, there's really only 6 to 10 contenders usually each year in terms of who can win the championship, who can add to the resume. And then, of course, there's going to be those players who break out and have big seasons. And so I'm also putting a percentage of my investments into those players who I think are ready to take a leap in their game. Players I've been following for a few years and I think have the chance to really take it to the next level. We saw that with Giannis, right? He had 1 year where he went from like a top 5 to top 10 player to an MVP. And players who make those jumps, if you're able to invest in them and predict that correctly, that is opportunity for incredible return on your money. I know a lot of people who have put in 5,000, 7,000 into Giannis when he was still an all-star, when he was still a top 10 player in the league. And just that MVP took that card to 30,000. So there's a lot of different investment strategies heading into the NBA season. I know if you're more of a short-term guy, you might be going after those young players who you think are going to have a breakout year. If you're more of a low-risk, long-term investment guy, you're going to go for more of the LeBrons, the Kevin Durants, the Currys, who have already proven themselves. If they were to retire today, they would still have a great legacy behind them. But they also have an opportunity to add to that resume this year, right? So I think there's different opportunities in the NBA market. I think we're going to see a big recovery over the next 2 to 3 months. You know, where you put that money, it's definitely ranging. I'm personally going between low risk and high risk. You know, and when I say high risk, I'm really picking and choosing, and I'm really picky about the players, the high-risk, younger players I invest in, who, if they got injured this season, their prices would absolutely tank. So I think that's definitely something to consider. You got to consider risk and reward. And for me personally, a guy like Kawhi, who I'd recommended our members buy in the beginning of the offseason, what I saw in him was a very rare low-risk, high-reward opportunity. I think Kawhi's cards had dropped to just an indescribable level in terms of a Prism Silver having a pop of, you know, less than 50 in a PSA 10 and, you know, pretty much the staple investment for Kawhi Leonard, already being a 2-time Finals MVP, already being a 2-time champion, already having that resume behind him. I felt very comfortable that his prices were low as they are, even if he retired today. But I think the reward is insane because the Clippers, of course, are going to be back healthy this season. There's going to be a lot of demand around Kawhi, Paul George. You know, I just think the overall Clippers are going to be a contender in the Western Conference. And when attention goes back to Kawhi's cards, they're going to keep rising. So that was one of, I guess, the thought process behind when I make a pick from a membership program or on YouTube or me personally investing, right? I definitely take those things into consideration. And whenever I see a low-risk, high-reward opportunity, that's when I really go all in because I couldn't see Kawhi's Prism Silver going below 5K. But we saw that being a 20K plus card at one point. So I definitely see a great amount of upside with the Clippers this year and a small amount of downside given his prices had been so down because he had been injured. And there's not many people looking at his cards right now, and I think that's going to change real soon. So just trying to find those holes in the market, I would say is my greatest advice to you guys who are investing by yourselves. you know, I definitely think it's a good time to be buying up basketball cards once again. And I've been asked a lot about football cards. What do I think right now? I think you're buying in after prices have gone up to some extent. So now essentially when you're buying in, you're basing it off of the player's going to have a better year than expected. So at this point, it's all based on the player's performance if you are investing right now. And so that's where I think there lies a lot of risk, especially given football is a very injury-prone sport. If you thoroughly believe a quarterback's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, I know a lot of people are investing in guys like Trey Lance, Mac Jones, of course, Herbert's, of course, getting a bunch of attention, Burrow, all those young guys. But I definitely think, you know, you're going to hold that risk of if they underperform or get injured, you're going to lose a lot. And if they do well, of course, the reward is incredible. So it's just a high-risk, high-reward opportunity to be getting into football, where I think basketball is more of a low-risk, high-reward opportunity at the moment. Of course, these are my personal opinions. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, if you would like to enter into the giveaway for the Karl-Anthony Towns Prizm PSA 9, all you have to do is drop a like, subscribe, comment the word done, and if you would like to join the membership program, link will be down below, sportscardsinvest.com. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out. Peace.